Hello, welcome to Tribal Council. We're live today. We have two people with two different names, and I just saw your name, Christy. How's it going?
It's going well. I should take my glasses off. It's going well. What did you guys think about last night?
Less stressful episode. I'm glad we.
It was at least.
It's okay. It was funny today.
Yeah, it was at least one that was. It was you can't forget what happened. It just was so. Obviously, the whole Survivor world is affected by it. But at least it was an episode where there's some strategy, and you kind of forget, but you still have Dan there saying stupid things.
Yeah,
but
hey, again, stupid. That's just kind of what stupid does.
He wasn't even a target, which just amazes me. But anyway, we'll get off Dan for a while and move on to the game. But I like the twist of the they had. Usually I don't like things like that, but I did like the twist.
Them up, you mean the splitting them up?
Yeah, and doing the whole, just random draw and winning the challenges and I thought it was a tough chat. I guess we'll get to that when we get there.
Do you think that was something they already had planned, or do you think that was something that producers threw in there at that moment because they kind of knew? Maybe they thought it was going to be too. Maybe they're trying to help Janet. Maybe they thought it'd be too easy for everyone to gang up on one person, so that we'll split them up, and then at least they get a fighting chance. Maybe.
That maybe I didn't think about that. Yeah, I'm sure they had the challenge the whole time, but splitting them up was probably something that they came up with. Yeah, maybe that's a.
I like it as something to kind of shake it up a little bit.
Because Janet probably would have gone home if that had been, if it had been just one tribe.
Mm-hmm. I think so. Well,
or one. I'm not one tribe, one group.
That's a good point. I was actually reading an interview with Jeff Probst, and I think they knew they had to do an episode like this. Where they normally have a double eviction episode each season.
Well, they did 2 in a row though. Now,
I actually think last week's they weren't going to split that up into a 1 hour episode and then this week a 1 hour episode. That the way that episode with everything that transpired last week, that had to be a 2 hour episode.
They wanted to get it out there and be done with it.
Yeah, no, I bet you're right. I didn't think of that, but I bet you're right.
Yeah, that's a good point too. I think being done with it's not the right words, but I think that they wanted to get let's throw it out there. Let's take the initial hit.
Well,
and move on.
They're trying to tell a story. If they thought, because I was listening to you guys today, if Colleen really thought that they had tried to package it in a way, or so that it made them not look so guilty or whatever, that they really thought they'd handled it well, right? So if that's what they thought, they probably thought they needed to put it all together so that it would tell the whole story.
Right.
The way they thought they could edit it that way. To be like a beginning and middle and end, but it didn't really work that way.
It wasn't handled well. It's still a black eye for Survivor.
It is.
It just wasn't. There's things they could have done and they didn't do it.
Especially since this season they've done so many things well.
Right.
It seemed like they're back on their game, and then to have this happen, which I'm sure they thought they did it great too. I hope they really learned something. I hope we don't have this situation ever again.
Well, and obviously the season that's going to follow this one is already in the can, so to speak.
True.
I wonder if they're going back. If something did happen on the island, obviously it's too late for production to step in. So I wonder if, anything is going to change. I guess what I'm saying is I'm sure when they filmed this season, the one that we're currently watching, they thought they handled it the best way that they possibly could.
For sure.
But now seeing that there is all this backlash for even just the way it was handled, I'm wondering what happens next season. And are we going to, I'm hoping we don't have a similar situation, but it's obviously whatever episodes are now being filmed, that's what they can handle better.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about it a lot because we've had a whole week to digest that. And I thought how Jack was saying that production should have just removed him right away. And last week, I'm going to be honest, I thought, but can they do that? But the more I sat on it and thought about it, I'm like, yeah, I guess that's how you do it. I guess it's how do they remove them is the way that is unsure for me, because do they just remove him and they don't give anybody any information why he was removed?
No, I think they have to tell you why.
Or do they say Kelly didn't want him? Kelly was uncomfortable. Do they have to out the person that complained? Because in the future, how will they handle that? If one person complains, and now does that person now using that for their gameplay?
Right.
Targeting
well, I get if we hadn't seen the video, then you're like going, okay, it's one person's word against the other, but clearly he was doing it. So I don't think there's any way they could have just said, hey, he was removed from the game because he was told. I think they need to be quicker about giving warnings too.
Yeah,
they shouldn't have to. They shouldn't wait for the player to complain. I know they're trying. I know I've read some articles too where they don't want to dictate. I think it was even Kelly said. It was Kelly saying, they let the players play, and production didn't want to let. You're seeing because even I'm pretty sure it was Kelly saying that she didn't want. She wants the players to play too, but at some point, like I said, if I punch you, I'm out. That's clearly in the rules, and they need to make it. They need to make it. Okay, if you're touching someone and that person tells you to stop touching them, then you need to be removed from the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's a. But I think he should have just been removed from the game, and
I'm sure moving forward, the rules are going to be tightened up. The contracts are going to be revised, and there is going to be probably there's a one warning and then you're removed from the game, obviously, depending on the appropriateness of the touching too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do we know if the winner of this season is able to be in next season? Have they actually said who's in next season? Because we know it's all winners, right?
Yeah, it's all winners picks, but not winners picks. Winners. People who have won the game.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if they throw another person. It depends on who wins, I guess.
Well, the only way that Survivor could be dead forever is if Dan wins this season and gets to be on next season.
Yeah, I don't think people would put up with that. And there was some more backlash. I mean, Jeff Varner, who opened up his, when he opened up his mouth and stuck his foot into it, he was on Twitter. And he said he was defending Dan, and people are like going, "What are you talking?" And then he admitted he had only seen this episode, the 2-part episode. He hadn't watched the whole season. He doesn't watch Survivor anymore. He's not a fan after he got, blasted for what he did. And I go, dude, can you just not stop talking? But how can you defend someone when you haven't seen? And people are saying, watch the first episode. Watch the first episode, and he didn't really back down. The last I saw, I said, "Well, what a train wreck!" So I just moved on.
I'm sneaking a peek at a spoiled list of the cast, even though it hasn't been fully announced yet. I will not say anything.
Did Christy freeze? I think she did.
Uh-oh.
I said, God, she's pretty good at sitting still. There she is.
Sorry, that hasn't happened for so long. Oh, now I'm going to have a dead one there.
Uh-oh.
There we go. I go, God, you're pretty good at that, playing a statue.
I thought it was you because you were talking, and anyway, whatever.
Anyway, but you're back, and again, we'll see what happens going further. But I thought
something about Varner.
Yeah, he opened up his mouth on Twitter and was complaining. He defending Dan, and he admits he hadn't seen the first episode. He doesn't watch Survivor anymore. He only saw that episode. He's like, oh, and people are like, dude, watch the first. It's just one of those things where this guy used to be fan favorite.
Yeah.
Now he's mud. Nobody.
It wasn't just the first episode. They've literally touched on this subject every single episode, even if me just cursory. It's been there.
Well, they were saying Kelly told him to stop the first episode. She literally told him to stop. And it's just like, anyway, we'll see what happens. But hopefully, going forward, that they're maybe do a better background check on, people's personalities. I mean, I guess if he doesn't have any record of it, I guess there's nothing you can do.
No one's ever felt like they could complain. That
yeah. Anyway,
I'm actually surprised nobody has come forward and made additional claims, because I'm sure this is not a behavior that he just suddenly developed on the island.
Oh my God, how stupid would that be if it was?
Yeah.
Backfire. I'm going to go there and be the friendliest, most affectionate guy ever. No, that's not the game to play.
Yeah.
Well, and and what I think what they also learned from it is, fast forward now to this episode. Here you've got some inappropriate touching by the rat, and they just immediately get rid of the rat.
Poor Karishma.
In her mouth. Oh my God.
Well, speaking of which, we have let's just start the episode. Janet comes back and she's glad she didn't quit because she wasn't going to quit for her family, her daughter, her granddaughter, and I think we're all happy she didn't quit because she shouldn't have quit. I mean, she would have had every reason to. I think we said before she had every reason to quit, but I'm glad she didn't. I think that would just ruin the whole season if she felt forced to quit. I think Survivor would have been done this season.
Now, do you think? I mean, with all the pressure that was put onto her and how that whole situation just completely flipped on her, if she were now to make it to the end, the fact that she didn't quit, stuck through it, is that jury votes?
Oh, I think she wins it.
Yeah.
She makes it to the end.
She's definitely not a quitter. I mean, that's just not a personality at all. She's not a quitter.
No.
So maybe that's something about her. Yeah, her character. She wins on all of that. Just strength of character.
And she's well liked. I mean, she was played. So, Kelly Griffin said, "No, he has to be like that in real life."
Yeah, I know for sure, Jack. This is no joke. That's actually my sister. So.
Okay, all right. Okay. Because last week, if you listened last week, someone was in there pretending to be my mom. It turned out it wasn't my mom, but they knew a lot about my mom. So, it's scary. Maybe I have another mom out there. I always said I was adopted.
Oh.
I always tease my mom because there's no pictures of me when I'm first born, and she says, "Well, you were so small. They went down, took you."
Pictures. Where are my pictures? Where's
I guess the first there's baby pictures of me. I go, well, sure, those could have been after I was left on your doorstep. So anyway,
so no picture of your mom holding you as a newborn, just hours after you're born. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, nothing. I mean, it was different times too. I mean, back in, it wasn't like you had a cell phone. And no, I didn't call my mom. I didn't text my mom, and she had no clue because she's not a subscriber to TV. And I tried to make it as easy as possible, and she still can't figure it out. So she's like, "What video? What are you talking about? I'm not your mom." So anyway. Anyway, so it just I give my mom a lot of grief. I mean, she smoked when she was pregnant with me, so I give her crap for that too.
So you ate cigarettes out of the ashtray?
I did. I ate cigarette butts out of the ashtray and would eat the ash. We couldn't figure out why you did. I go because I was addicted. I was addicted to nicotine.
Yeah.
Jeez, I go, you should have came with a little warning label on the side there.
Right.
She goes, well, they didn't have warning. We didn't know.
No, the doctors knew.
Yeah. Anyway, we go back to the shelter. JP mentioned the rat climbing on Karishma. I think that would be that, and the snake would be my biggest fear. Of
the snake would eat the rat. So
yeah, but I mean crawling on me. I don't mind spiders. I don't mind stuff like that. But rats and snakes are like. No, I couldn't deal with that, but I'd be the one screaming in the night. Ah! But again, we go back to, and I've said this for a while, the crappy shelter. They're freezing cold. They look miserable.
Why are they all separated?
Yeah.
Are they all like in little pods all over?
Well, Dan has his own pod, right?
That's so weird. We've never seen that before, have we?
I don't think so. But again, why don't you build a shelter? Again, you're there. You're sitting around there doing nothing all day long. Build a shelter. They work on it the first day, and after that, they don't work on it again. And when it rains, they're miserable.
Mm.
They barely have a roof to cover their head, and meanwhile, Rob's already building the second floor.
Rob's going to have central air next week, so.
You're going to what?
I said Rob will probably have central air by next week.
Oh, he probably will, yeah. And they're all complaining about Karishma, and Nora was the hardest on her. Now, some people said Nora was being a bully. She was being mean to Karishma. I don't know. My defense was, if you're sitting around camp doing nothing, and I like Karishma. I think she's she's probably a nice person, and all that different stuff. But to me, if you're sitting around doing nothing, I'm doing all the work, I'm probably going to lash out at you too.
I want to know how she sleeps sitting up.
On the hammock.
No, when she was like sitting on the post, and she was like dead asleep. They noticed that she was sleeping and just left her alone.
Some people can sleep anywhere.
Oh my gosh!
You have to be pretty tired to do that, though. But I guess maybe
I can only fall asleep during a ramble cast.
Well, I'm right with you.
Oh man!
Half the time, I don't know what's going on. Karishma finds an idol, looking for coconuts, and then she comes back with. She was gone an hour, and she came back with 2 coconuts. Of course, Nora right away says, "That's all the coconuts you got."
But doesn't that fit into the Nora's narrative of that she's lazy and she's worthless as far as helping around? She goes out too. I was like, perfect. She's playing into character, but no, she panics.
I'm sick.
Yeah,
and they go, well, let's get medical out here. No, I'm good. You know what? I would have played it.
You never tell them that you're sick. Yeah. You never tell them you're injured. You never fake anything.
No.
Because they will eat you. That's it.
Yeah.
They would
the weakest of the herd. You're next.
Yeah, even if I disagree with that, because even if they bring medical in, I mean, maybe you're really okay to play, but possibly you have something developing that medical says, okay, we have to pull you out of the game. I mean, even just don't put yourself at risk.
Right.
Well, or bring back more than 2 coconuts.
Or why not? Okay, so you're taking a long time. Say I went for a walk, or
has 2.
I don't know. I got lost. They might believe it.
Yeah, I was lost. I didn't know where I was going. She was trying to shake the trees. I said, "What is she doing?"
She picked a couple up. She picked them up and shook them and then threw them back down. She could have brought those back. Take them off. Let them decide whether they're good or not. I don't know.
And then she did decide she now loves her husband.
Oh my gosh, that was super awkward because Eric doesn't watch it, but he came in at that point and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so awkward because she was just starting to open up to whoever she was talking to. And I was like, oh, because she said several episodes ago about how she's in an arranged marriage and how she doesn't like him and she doesn't know if she wants to stay married to him. And now she's at home trying to figure out, oh my God, I have to tell him before he sees it on TV.
Oh yeah.
Now she's done this 180 where now she's like, oh, but he loves me. And how lucky am I? I'm the luckiest girl alive because someone loves me.
Well, you think maybe you are out there with no food. The elements can kind of get. Do you think the elements just got to her, and maybe she just loved him the whole time and just was? Or was she
without really knowing those people that well, telling her dish about her unhappy marriage? That's weird.
Was that gameplay though?
That's weird. I don't know.
We don't know because you look at the one, like you said, a 180 from. Yeah, because I said that had to be really awkward, with her husband sitting at home going,
She's like, oh, honey, I was just joking.
Yeah, if it was gameplay, if it was really gameplay, I mean, it was kind of more like a 135. I'm saying. I don't think it was full around.
If it was gameplay, to what end?
I would think that the first.
She's in an unhappy marriage. We'll give her the $1 million.
Well, no, not the $1 million, but remember she was in trouble right away. So maybe she was trying to get sympathy or something. I don't know. I just I think now you start, you go back to you listen to people talk and then you go, wait a minute, I know that she said this. Now she's saying this, but maybe again, we all say things probably that we probably shouldn't have.
I think several weeks ago she told her husband that was just gameplay.
Maybe, and she maybe realized later on. She said, "Okay, you remember when I said this?
Yeah, that was gameplay.
You remember when I said this?" And let me remove the right one. Let's see.
Oh,
I like this one better. Keep this one.
I should have put a different name. Then it would look like we're like whatever.
Anyway, so I don't know. It didn't. I don't.
I like the other Christie's opinion on that, Jack.
She's pretty smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. She doesn't want. Kelly said she doesn't want her stuff waiting for outside the house.
Oh, the hubby.
When she gets home.
Oh,
Anyway, then they go right to the immunity challenge. I mean, it was like early on in there was no reward challenge.
I was like, time is it? Well, that's
immunity challenge. What's going to happen now? Because now there could be another, ticking time bomb going off in this with this group. So you don't know. But I did, like we talked about earlier, there's two groups, random draws, and the two groups, two winners, and then they have to. The first group, the one that wins it all, the one that goes all the way, gets peanut butter and jelly for their group, and they get to go second, which I think is huge.
Yeah,
I think it's a big deal. Last person standing, and I thought this challenge was kind of tough.
I did too.
They've done it before, though, haven't they? They've done
I think so. Yeah.
Similar.
It's been a little while though, but yeah, they've done it before. But it looks real tough.
Yeah. Nora wins. But then she celebrates. in typical Nora fashion, she celebrates. But then her tribe was like Dan was mad at her. Well, that was stupid. Someone I'm not sure who said it. It was a guy. It was either him or Aaron said that was stupid. We could have. I'm like going. Well, you didn't win.
Maybe Nora just has a peanut allergy and didn't want to suffer.
Well, true. But she won, and I think she was just happy she won.
Yeah, she just
kind of, but she doesn't. She's not someone we've seen before. Stays focused on things, but she won.
Yeah.
So hats off to her. I mean, I don't think I would call the winner stupid.
No,
or that's a stupid thing to do. And if I want peanut butter and jelly and I want to go second, then I should win the challenge. Right. She didn't win.
Right.
And then it goes on and on and on. And then Elaine wins the whole thing. Good for Elaine.
Yeah.
We still like Elaine. We're still liking her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's super comfortable with herself. I love her.
But then I thought it was something interesting when they went to get their idols from Jeff. Nora goes, "Jeff, can I give you a hug?" I said, "Dan, are you watching this?" Because then Elaine said the same thing. Can I get a hug? Sure, I love hugs.
Two ladies understand. You ask permission.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I have a hug, Jeff? Anyway, I just thought it was interesting. What after last week we had
you don't think that was passive aggressive, do you?
What? Like what was he gonna say? Or
saying it right? And watch this.
Maybe Nora, because Nora's pretty blunt.
Was there any moment during that segment? Because I was looking down, I was taking some notes. Was there any moment during that where they awkwardly cut the camera over to Dan or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
They might have done there. I'm sure there's video of it.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But I'm sure at this point they're like, okay, we don't want to go down that road.
Let's not remind them.
Let's let the viewers, they know.
Let's move back to game.
Based on last week's backlash, they may have gone in and re-edited some stuff in all of these episodes coming up.
Oh, it's true.
You never know. They could have been like, that one scene, take that out. Move it around. I mean, you never know.
I'm surprised they haven't just done like a narrative that Dan was removed from the game and then just like CGI him out of the rest of the show.
Or he's got like one of those old school, like he's blacked out like he was a brand name or something, just everywhere he goes. Black line across his face.
Oh man, that would be funny. The first group is going to the old Lyro camp.
Yep.
And it's a mess. I mean, it's just a.
How many days has it been empty? It's been like 6 or 9. 6.
I want to say closer to 9, I think.
9, yeah, but it's the shelter's in bad shape. It's
and
not
in all the seasons we've seen on that island, there are wild boar, right? Because they've had pigs on there. You would think they would go there. They would be tearing that up, right?
Oh, sure.
It's abandoned. No one's there. But there's like food stuffs or human stuff. Oh yeah.
Probably more rats around.
Oh,
that's why I always crack up when they just throw the food right where they're sleeping.
Oh.
I would say, look, why don't we put it in a basket and we'll take it and we'll bury it somewhere so we don't get rats and snakes. Again, I guess I'm just when I'm thinking shelter, I'm thinking I don't want to be a Krishna where things are crawling on me.
Well, anyone who's ever camped before knows that you don't put your trash by you. You're supposed to even pull it up into the tree, right? So things can get to it. So yeah, you're right. Somebody should be taking the trash elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I know the first one they ate rats.
Yeah.
The first ever episode of Survivor, they were eating rats just to have some protein. But,
yuck.
Yeah, that was like when you said, "All right, this show is cool." They're really out there surviving.
Yeah, we thought it was real then. I mean, it is kind of. Yeah.
Except when was it BB that was washing his shirt in their bowl they used to cook?
Oh God!
And he got voted out after that. I'm not sure why. Back then, if you did something stupid, they voted you out.
I never saw the first season. Thank you.
Oh, you got to go back and watch the first season.
And they used to have those luxury items. They could each bring one luxury item.
Yeah.
Well, they gave you so much insight into that person of like whether you thought they were going to be good or not. Yeah.
They could bring a Frisbee. They could bring a football or their favorite hat.
Yeah.
Now they don't have they don't have anymore, do they?
They don't. They haven't had for a really long time.
I wonder if they still do it, but just don't focus on it.
I wonder why.
You see things out there that don't belong, that look like a ukulele. How'd they get that?
Well, I would have brought a flat screen TV with satellite.
Yeah.
So that probably was probably they stuffed it.
I would have brought my HelloFresh subscription.
And then you have Nora. I like how she describes things. It's always killing something, and she basically says, "We're going to kill Bambi." She goes, "We're going to take it. We're going to line him up and go boom."
She's a character. Yeah.
I said yesterday on the podcast that I think Nora can win now, and they think I'm crazy. I think she can win.
I don't think you're wrong. I think right now, if you look at everybody, literally, honestly, everybody has a shot because it seems like they're all trying to take someone who's worse than they are.
Yeah.
I'll tell you honestly, I agree. I think the only person. I don't think Lauren would have a shot, and I don't think. I almost want to say like Dean might not even have a shot, but
depends on who they're sitting next to. That's the thing.
I don't think Elizabeth has a shot. I think Elizabeth.
She's got two buddies on the jury now.
Yeah, but she's got to get there.
True. I don't know.
I think Karishma is because we're skipping ahead here, but during her tribal council, they said Sandra said everybody wants to take Karishma to the finals.
Yeah.
Because she can't win. I mean, at this point, I don't see there's any way she could win. She just hasn't done anything.
Unless they're sitting next to Dan, that might be the only one who cannot win.
Yeah.
So now everyone's.
I would hope Dan can't win. Again, I think when they go back to Ponderosa, I think it's all going to come out. I don't think there's any way Dan can win. So yeah, I would think Dan, Elizabeth, and Karishma can't win. But I was saying Nora, she's really good in the challenges, and she's smart. If she would just stop, and she just needs to stop for a second and think, where she's kind of impulsive, where she reacts right away. But like when she's thinking of gameplay, she's pretty smart about who to take out and who not. So, because she even went to Aaron. Well, I'll get to that later on. But Dean talks to Dan about voting out Janet. I'm like, Dean?
He's a sneak.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to stay in the game.
Oh, sure.
But I don't know. It didn't look good for him on TV yesterday.
Maybe he just threw her out, not because. Well, he's right. Everybody likes Janet. Let's face it.
That's why she's a target.
Yeah, and he might think that he can. That's the one he can pitch, and people will grab on, because that's what you're doing. You're looking for someone that's not you, that's not going to hurt your place, but that other people are going to grab onto, right?
Again, if your name's not being brought up, do you put a target on your back?
Dean was saying last night that he thinks he's on the bottom all the time, or he
is on the bottom. He is on the bottom.
Well, but he recognizes it, so maybe that's why he's always trying to be proactively getting them towards someone that's not him.
But they're looking at Aaron, and it seemed like it was either Aaron or Janet with names were coming up. It wasn't Dean. I think at this point, I go, all right, I'm gonna go into the radar here and just wait until next week. Where we're back to one big group. I'm still on the bottom, but Why? Because sometimes you see people, they bring someone else up and people go, hey, this person was targeting you. So you don't know. I'm just saying at this point, what was Dean? There was he didn't seem like he was in any danger. Why put a target on your, possibly put a target on your back? I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. Or who knows? Maybe people were talking to him, and that was just, who knows? The way they edited it, you don't know if he was being super instrumental in starting the
or
not.
That's true. The other group, Missy wants to dictate the group. She wants to decide what's going on. She's going to take charge.
We knew that once.
And then Karishma doesn't want to listen to her and walks away. And again, was Missy being a bully? Is that just her personality? Is she just, this is what I want to do? And I thought she was talking down to Karishma.
I agree. She was assertive. We don't want to say aggressive. We don't want to say a bully, but she's definitely assertive. She was letting them know what she wanted. Yeah. Because
her and Missy, Karishma and Missy had issues before. So I think Missy was probably like, okay, this is, hey, this is what I want to do. Mm-hmm. But that's not her approach. That's just not who she is. So I don't know if someone like you said, was she being a bully? It's just her. She just is aggressive by nature, where she gets an idea and she wants people to follow it.
I think in that group, she was just more of a power player and is just kind of from her, her high step looking down at them. She's just trying to dictate, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. I don't want to say she was bullying, but she was definitely talking down to her.
But she's been doing that this whole season. Whoever she's been with, she's always been like the person that's kind of dictating her little group.
But in the beginning, she was better at being better at handling it, where she would get what she wanted, but she wasn't going, I want, it's do it this way. She seemed more where like she's like, I think she thought she was more secure in the game than she was.
I think that go ahead.
I was just going to say I think also the fact that their group was very, very small, it's almost like you had to push those small numbers into the direction you wanted to go. And to do that, she had to be more direct, as opposed to just kind of, when they had the larger group, she could kind of, drop what she wanted and then just sit back and let it unfold through everybody else.
Right.
Yeah. I think the other thing for her is that she's been able to do this for so many different tribals or going to tribals. And I think with like anything else, you start to get that power and then you get used to that power and you push your boundaries. And she is more secure now because look how many people that she's helped get out. Things have gone her way for the most part. And so, yeah, probably people don't realize that they're getting kind of power hungry. Do you know what I mean? That they're I don't think they can probably read that. Things are going their way. So they're getting more and more confident.
Yeah, that's true. But it just again going back to Dean, it is a small group and it's a one-time thing. It's going to go back to probably normal. I mean, you never know with Survivor, but it's going to go back to where it's an individual game. Do you rock the boat? And like you said, JP, that she was able to always, just throw it out there and let it, the plan play out. But she was more aggressive, and I think with Karishma, if you have something if you have had problems with someone before, you can't go in with that. And we've seen it before where people get that, I'm in charge.
Yeah, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, and nobody wants to be told what to do.
Right.
Nobody. I mean, we all have egos, and it's like, okay, all right, yeah.
Well, not only that, you're protecting your game because nobody wants to let other people make all the decisions so that at the end they can say, I was running it and they all just did what I said, so I deserve it.
Right.
And they don't.
Because the resume is so more important now than I think than it was in the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
It's because, well, what did you do to win the game and all that different stuff. But I thought and I give Karishma walking away. I saw some people criticize her on social network. I'm like going, I don't want to talk to you.
It worked out for her. I thought, gosh, that's kind of dangerous to do because you don't know. Now Missy's going to go, I guess you're going home instead. But she didn't do that. But I was really nervous for that to backfire on Karishma.
Yeah, but it's, oh well. Because Missy was one of the people I loved in the beginning, but after a couple weeks ago, I everything had played out. it was kind of like, okay, you made a mistake. So it is what it is. Elaine talks with Karishma, and Karishma tells her, this is what they want, and Elaine wants Missy out. I think she realizes that Missy was a threat to win the game. She's good in the challenges. She's like we said, she has a good resume.
And wasn't Missy?
So Elaine,
didn't Missy at one point didn't it get back to her that Missy had said that she was a threat?
That Elaine was a threat?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think a lot of people said Elaine.
They were original tribe together. So remember that first tribal? And Elaine was like, why is it me? That was Missy who said, I think then. So she's probably always been like, kind of, when's Missy gonna?
When do we have my chance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've said before, people are underestimating Elaine. Mm. She's smart, and she's clever, and she does pay, and she pays attention. And she's like the exact opposite of Missy. She didn't go, she goes, well, why don't we get Missy out?
Yeah.
She made Karishma part of the plan.
I might be wrong, but I think it was Missy that says likability is a liability about Elaine.
Yeah, I believe so.
So probably Elaine, she's been on Elaine's radar for that reason. Like, ooh, she's on to me. I got to get rid of her at some point. But.
And Elaine tells Big Red the plan. and how he was the target. He was Missy's target. Mm-hmm. Getting rid of Big Red.
Because Missy's real on to get rid of all the guys.
Yeah.
Well, except Red, but.
And then Missy talks to Karishma again. It's a little better. She listens, and Karishma, you think, okay, I'm thinking, okay, Karishma, don't fall for it. Don't fall for Karishma. You've had this and that, but anyway, we go to the and this is what I love most about Boston Rob. He's so observant about things going on. He sees Dean rolling up his sleeves. He goes, "Oh, there's Dean rolling up his sleeves again to show his muscle."
Pretty for the camera.
Yeah, and I went, "Wow!" I go, "I don't know if I would have noticed that."
Well, we might not be seeing it, but they see it.
I know, but I'm saying if I'm sitting there.
Oh, okay.
And I'm focusing. Obviously, it's they don't just sit down and start talking right away. There's they set up and they got to set the cameras up and they got to set all the different stuff up. And I go, kudos to Rob. He is good at observing what's going on. Mm-hmm. Then they go to the vote and they're going back and forth and Aaron gets voted out.
Yeah.
And I was like,
he could have won. I don't know if he could have won, but he would have been a strong competitor. Just to make it to the end, I think Aaron had potential to win his way to the end.
Right.
That's why I think it was
he could have gone on a run for sure.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a great move getting rid of it. To me, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because, say Dean's a physical threat. He doesn't really win the challenges. Aaron had won 2 in a row.
Yeah.
And it's an individual game now. You have to get rid of this. If someone can make a run. And again, Aaron, to his credit, he should have been gone first couple of weeks. He was on the bottom,
mm-hmm.
but he made it into the verge. And if it weren't for this changing the way they changed the game up, he probably doesn't go home. He's probably still in the game.
Yeah,
because I think his alliance was on the other side.
Right.
So he got kicked to the curb. I thought he handled it pretty well. He just went, okay.
Yeah.
He goes straight to the jury. I thought it was funny though. Two of the people that were the main villains from a couple weeks, other than Dan,
right,
went home.
I agree. That's why
I
in here.
I don't think it was
Aaron Kelly
based on. I don't think it was based on what they did, how they came across on the episode a couple weeks ago. I think it was more of gameplay, both Missy and Aaron. But it's funny how it worked out. Next, we have up the other group comes in, and I thought Elizabeth and Missy showed their hand. I said, why would you? They see Aaron's voted out, and right away, Elizabeth. I was like, what? You don't show that effect. You have to have some kind of poke. JP knows.
She's not an actress.
But still, you have to go. But she's like, she let it know. Oh my God, that's my alliance over there. What did happen? What's happened to my game?
Her game just blew up. Wow.
Yeah. And I'm like going, stupid. I mean, it's just, you have to play it. It's a game. In any game, you can't show that it affects you. But she was like flat out.
You know why? Because they were thinking, if people had a problem with Aaron, I would have known about it. I didn't know he was going to go home.
Yeah. She wasn't part of the group. She wasn't part of that side.
This was Dan was doing this. I would have known about it.
But I just said, I said both of them. I go, God, that's terrible gameplay.
Yeah.
You have to have a poker face in the game of Survivor. You can't let anything show that it bothers you, especially this late in the game, because people are, she had an alliance with and I'm sure most people know the alliance, but what if people didn't know? Oh, she was working with Aaron? I thought she was working with me.
Unless you feel that confident.
You have to almost view the outcome as though that's what you wanted to have happen.
Yeah. Just say, oh, yeah, I'm not shocked by that.
Yeah.
And then we have, before Missy gets voted out, she calls out Jeff. And I was like going,
Poor
I
Jeff.
didn't even think about it, but I thought it was handled well by Jeff. I mean, he's like,
Absolutely.
but
I thought about last week when they both won. I was like, oh, 2 people of color. That's really cool. I didn't know that it had been the first time.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Good for Missy for giving herself, calling the attention to it. They deserve it.
The only thing I said was, though, the other episode was more about something else. So it really had nothing to do with gameplay. It was more about what was going on in camp, what the Dan thing, Janet, and everything else. So
Jeff does usually like to toot Survivor's horn, though, when they do something first time. Yeah. So maybe that's why they thought.
I guess that could have been, but I thought Jeff handled it well. He's like, well, he was pretty honest. To me, he seemed honest because I didn't even think about it.
He said he's still learning, and that was.
Yeah.
And he said, I would have thought that if I pointed it out, that wouldn't be right, because we shouldn't act like that's a special thing. That should be the norm. Yeah. So, yeah.
And again, I was like you, Chris. I didn't realize that was the first time. I was like, well, kudos to Missy for being that knowledgeable about the game of Survivor. Because I'm pretty good at certain things, but once the season's over, I can't remember this or that until someone goes, "Oh, that's right, yeah, I can remember the stupid things people have done, like the ice cream guy and James going home with 2 idols." Still kills me because I love James. But there's certain things that happen in Survivor that I remember, but that I would not have remembered. I was like, I didn't know. But Missy goes home and she takes forever.
She has her moment and then she goes home.
Yeah. And then even Sandra's like, all right, it's time to go. You need to leave. And someone, I don't know if it was on our Facebook page or Twitter, someone made a good point that once you're voted out, you're not supposed to be able to try and influence the game.
Yeah, that's why Sandra said that, because she was loitering.
Yeah.
She was whispering in people's ears and giving hugs. No.
Because she said to Elizabeth, make sure she has that Elaine has a slow and painful death.
Yeah.
That should not have been allowed.
That should not have been allowed. You don't see other people doing that.
I mean, the week before we had Kelly, who wasn't allowed to say anything because she's on the jury. She's now on the jury. I mean, you can make your parting shot. Who was it said a couple of weeks ago that got voted off? Don't trust.
Right, but they have to say it over their shoulder kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Ears.
Yeah. So I thought I agreed with Sandra 100%. It's time for you to go. I mean, she handled it well. She didn't flip out that she got blindsided.
Yeah. You're done. Go.
you got voted out. They shouldn't be allowed. To be honest with you, they shouldn't be allowed to say anything. Once they're gone, that's it.
That was another Survivor first.
Was it?
I don't know.
Oh,
I thought you were being serious. But
I can't remember it happening before because I was like, why are they letting that happen?
I don't recall ever seeing somebody being allowed, and who even knows if she's allowed, but somebody just interacting with everybody. I've seen people go to grab their stuff and they're shouting things out, but
right.
Elaine did come to her and said, "Yeah, it was me."
Right.
I got you out.
That was even dumb for her to ask because she's looking and she's like, who was it? Who was it? Well, she knows Elizabeth voted with her, right?
Right.
So it was everyone else.
Yeah.
But did she not trust Elizabeth? She thought maybe Elizabeth was one of them?
I can't see that. No.
I couldn't see that. But Elaine coming to her now, does Elaine tell her that because it helps her resume? That Missy respects the gameplay, or should that be something where even Elaine shouldn't be allowed to say that, unless she says it, during one of the tribal councils or at the end of the when they have we're doing the final vote to see who wins. I mean, are we putting too many rules into the game where
No, but they don't tell people who voted for him and who voted. They don't know who the votes are for sure when they leave.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why should she get to have that information?
Yeah.
I mean, that was, I can't ever, I mean, I can never see a reason why somebody would stand up and yell, "Hey, I voted for you." But I mean, it was Elaine's free will to, reveal it.
She wasn't whispering it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, I have, like I said, I've always said, if I was on there and the person that got me out, I would probably lean towards voting for, because they outplayed me.
Right.
Unless their game was just terrible and then they just got.
If you're beat by the number one, you still have an argument to say you're number two. Just saying.
Yeah, exactly. I've always been number two. No, I'm. But I just thought it was a weird ending to the show, and I said I didn't really think about it at the time. I was agreed with Sandra that I go, all right, this is lingering too long. She needs to go, and
you need to bring out island security, show her out, escort her out.
Yeah, you're gone. But then I forgot to mention the first one. Nora even kind of says when they're asking questions, she basically says that Aaron's going to be the one voted out, because Aaron said something.
Right.
And she which I forgot to write it down, but whatever she said was like, oh, they're voting Aaron out.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
some threat of violence, I'm sure.
We're gonna just take him, shoot him right between the eyes. So I guess it comes down to MVP time. Interesting episode. We'll start with JP. Who is your MVP?
I'm gonna go with. I didn't think about this one. Sorry, I just watched.
It's a tough one.
It's a tough one. I mean, I want Janet. I mean, I still like Janet, so she gets my likable MVP.
But she didn't really do anything other than.
No. Karishma took the rat to the face.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Elaine for just taking the lasting the longest in the challenge. That was a tough challenge. And it was, I don't want to say she's not that athletic, but, she outlasted everybody. I mean, Nora predicted she wouldn't win, so just threw it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'll give it to either Elaine or the rat.
I'm going to probably, because in the chat, we have Kelly said Elaine and Vetmel said Elaine. I'm going to also say Elaine because, again, like you said, she won the challenge. It was an important challenge. She was smart enough to stay on there until the end to win the challenge. And she got her group, the PB, and she also, she's the one that handled, when she talked to Karishma, she talked to her like a human being. She knew how to talk to her for, and not dictate at her. And she was able to get Aaron out, who was a big threat. So I'm going to vote. I'm going with Elaine also.
Now, Kelly says one of the reasons she voted for Elaine was because Elaine got Misty out. But did she?
I think she did.
No, I think it was Karishma. Karishma made
she was a swing vote, but who handled it better, Missy or Elaine? Who did a better job talking to Karishma?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Elaine.
Yeah. Again, she treated her like she was a human being.
That they'd both been equally nice or equally ugly to her. I think Karishma was picking who could I be, or who she's had issues with Missy before, but no, I guess I have to be contrarian and say Karishma. She did not panic and did not play her idol, because I really thought she was going to use it for no reason.
Yeah, I thought she was going to use it also.
So she held it together, which is very un-Karishma-like, and was the swing vote. So she had some power here. First time, and I think this is the first tribal she's felt like she had power, right? And
it's definitely the first time she had, like, her vote did matter. I mean, it was a big deal.
She had to decide who she was going to go with, and I think she chose well. But so I'll just take her. I mean, I agree with Elaine, but we got to have some other options there.
But it's Karishma thinking, okay, I can't beat Missy, because I think, again, people underestimate Elaine. I think they just think she's the goofy country girl, says the funny one-liners, and she's likable. I don't think anybody wants to go to the finals with her. That's where she's going to have a tough time. Where I wouldn't want to do what? She's
stealthy. Nobody knows, and she just won that immunity in this last one, but no one probably would have guessed that either. So she's underestimated all the way around. So she better not try and go on a run because they'll put a target on her for sure.
But is she going to be a target because you get to that? Because you look at the group that's left.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's. I don't think there's anyone dominant right now. Right? There's no one that person's going to. If they get to the finals, they're going to win.
I think one of the things I've noticed though about Elaine too is in the earlier days of the show, earlier episodes, she was like the uber bubbly, friendly person. And now she's kind of like her friendliness is now kind of under the radar. You know, she's just kind of fitting in. I mean, yeah, she's super sweet and she's super nice, but she's not making a spectacle of herself.
True.
Or is that editing?
Yeah, it could be editing.
I mean, but no, I think she's stealthy. So good for her.
Yeah, again, she was. I didn't pick her in the beginning, but you love her. You want her to win, but I don't know. For some reason I have this feeling about Nora. It's just she should have been gone a long time ago, and now she's not only is she good in the challenge, but she's also in the decision making. She's part of the decision. She's not just. Whereas Karishma made the decision, she was the final vote yesterday, but it seems like every week that Nora is in the decision making.
So anyway,
she could be the one where people said, "Oh, I can beat her, I can beat her, I can beat her." But if she gets there with Karishma and Elizabeth, or Karishma and Dan, Karishma there's a lot of people she can beat now. Whereas in the beginning when this first started, I said she can't beat anyone. She's the one I'm going to take to the finals with me. Now I don't know if I'm so sure I would take her to the finals with me.
Well, she'll probably win the last immunity, and maybe she won't take you.
Exactly. Way to shoot! I'm Bambi now. She's going to just take me out that way.
I was going to throw this in also. I'm just kind of looking at who's left.
Mm-hmm.
You have 6 of the women players left. You have 2.5 men left at this point.
He's all no.
But you've also, by getting rid of Missy, you now basically have, out of the women that are left, I mean, this is really a good point in the game where they should try to get Tommy, Dean, and Dan out, because there's really nobody. There's nobody for the women. There's nobody who's really playing hardcore at this point. Missy was the last one who was kind of like the more aggressive player, where I think you could. I'm definitely going to bet that this is going to be a women winner this season.
There's not a single player left that's really playing hard. Maybe an argument can be made for Lauren that she's had some plays.
Well, she's not. Well, going by what people have said, she's on the bottom. They just. In fact, that's one reason why they wanted to get rid of Tommy, was to make her come back to them.
Right.
When Missy was saying we get rid of Tommy, she has to.
So that changes that whole dynamic there.
Yeah.
I think at this point they target the guys, then target Lauren, and then you've got your players who, that's when you say, okay, I want to bring Karishma with me to the end, or I want to bring, or maybe keep Lauren and just try to bring her to the end because she hasn't done anything.
No, right now it's getting to a point where it's very even, and I don't know that we've seen where it's been this even this late. So
that's what I'm saying. It's. I mean, I don't think Dan can win. We said before, I don't think Karishma can win, and I don't see Elizabeth winning. Those 3, I don't think, can win the game.
If you're still in the game at this point, now it wasn't brought up in this episode, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future episodes. But is that still what transpired last week? Is that still part of your gameplay to bring Dan to the end because of how uncomfortable he made people? Or is that just this, a scummy move to, I'm not really using gameplay to bring somebody to the end. I'm just bringing somebody to the end because he creeped everybody out.
Yeah, I got to think that I would hope I wouldn't do that.
Right.
If I was a player, so you got to be thinking some players that, I probably don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But you see Elizabeth doing it because she,
Well, she's already kind of hitched her wagon to him by,
right.
She made that choice already, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Again, I hope he doesn't make the final 3. I think it would be a black eye for Survivor
So
if he did.
now that Aaron and Missy are gone, or especially Missy, but Aaron also because they were kind of together, do you think that puts Elizabeth on the outs? Like she doesn't really have anybody left, really, right, Elizabeth?
I at this point, you're getting down to since it's mainly individual. It's like, okay, if I win immunity, who can I? It's getting to a point now. Who can I beat, and who can I not beat?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, can I beat Elaine? If Elaine doesn't win immunity, I think she's a target.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, we're seeing that she's, that she is smarter than I think her tribe mates are giving her credit for. But again, it comes down to, okay, I can probably beat Elizabeth. I can beat Karishma. I can beat Lauren. Who do I? If I'm playing the game, I'm now looking at who can't I beat?
Right.
And I need to get rid of them because the alliances. I mean, I can't even tell you who's in what alliance anymore because it's been so. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
Even Janet. I mean, as much as we love Janet, I got to be thinking, okay, I got to vote her out.
Right.
Her story's too. I can't beat her.
Yeah, I think if you look at the big picture, I think for everybody, they're gonna definitely Janet and Elaine are gonna be. I think Janet before Elaine actually, but maybe not. But I think those two going home is gonna put a fire under Elizabeth. And since there's not really that many physical players left, maybe Tommy a little bit, but I think Elizabeth might try and turn hers on a little bit to kind of. She might feel like she has to win the immunity ILO every week, or she's going home with nobody. She lost her confidence. Right? When you have people close to you that you feel like you can trust, and then they're all of a sudden just pulled from the game so quickly, that has to leave you kind of reeling, trying to figure out, oh my gosh.
Right.
Well, then Elizabeth to me is now a key swing vote because she has no alliance. She lost. Like you said, she lost her two key.
True.
If I'm playing the exit, okay, look, you've taken a hit. Join me, and I'll guarantee you final three.
So if you're Lauren and Tommy,
you guys start
with and say, "Hey,
yeah, you guys start making your
vote with us. Let's get rid of Janet. Let's get rid of Elaine."
Yeah, we can't beat her. You can't beat her.
Probably
get her out. So you got to start using the people that can't win
to your advantage.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see what happens.
We will. So is it back? We're not broken up with Survivor no more. We're back. It's back on track.
No, I think they didn't handle it right. Obviously, and I know some people did quit it. They said, I'm done. I'm not doing it. But it's again, they handled it poorly, but I'm going to keep watching for now.
I feel like by these specific two people going home this week kind of helped to balance the karma a little bit.
Right.
If that makes sense. So,
Janet and Elaine going home, I think people will still be pissed.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
This is almost like the season of Survivor that, I don't even know if they still release DVDs, but it's like this is the season of Survivor that they're going to just sweep under the carpet and just, not advertise, not put out there.
Do you know how much they're going to put for deleted scenes? They're going to try and really explain it themselves a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's going to buy all the deleted scenes. But
we shall see.
Like I said, hopefully we're all hoping that Dan doesn't win. I mean, if Dan wins, I mean, I think that could be the end of Survivor. I mean, it could be. I mean, I don't think people just be like, so
be gone like Jeff's TV show.
Yes.
Show.
Yeah, it wasn't a very good show. I tried it. I tried to like it.
I did too.
I like Jeff, but I just didn't. It's not his niche. And how are we going to do a talk show?
Mm-mm.
And it just wasn't very, it's like always say about the afterwards, I'm drawing a blank on the after show, the
finale show.
Yeah, finale show. He's not very good at it. It was better when Rosie O'Donnell did it, and even Brian Gumbel, like when they were better at stuff like that than Jeff. He's just not very good at it.
He's not a good interviewer.
No, he's great on the show.
Right.
He's perfect on the show, but when they put him in charge of the thing, I was like, And that was probably his demands. He probably, said, "Look, I'm the star of the show.
Yeah,
I want to be." He could have been there, but he needed someone that just does a better job of answering questions and asking questions. But,
Yeah, go out in the audience, and while they're running stuff on stage, go and like randomly pick people out of the audience to stand up and give questions or whatever.
yeah. I've lost to Rob to sell a book. But anyway, that's all I got. Anything else?
I got nothing.
Thanks for Kelly and Vetmel for joining us in the chat. We appreciate it. Again, if you're listening to this, you can join us live in the chat each week. Give your comments, and if we like them, we'll read them. Even if we don't like them, we'll read them.
Subscribe. If you subscribe, you'll get the notification, right? Now,
yes. We had the little bell thing.
Yeah.
I'll put a challenge out there to the chat room. If somebody can come back next week and try to fool Jack into thinking you're a member of his family.
It doesn't take much.
Right.
Just a little creeping on Facebook or maybe the internet. You'll find out somebody you can impersonate.
Okay. The only thing because my mom's name is Beverly, it was B, and I'm like, but the last name, I just don't get the last name, but it just. But it's my mom, so you kind of think, okay, she's she does her own thing. So anyway,
Right.
I thought it was one of the cats she's adopted, the name. So she's adopted a lot of cats now. So she never wanted a cat in the house growing up. Never wanted a cat. Now she's adopting all these stray cats, and
she lives alone now, right? There you go.
She told her husband.
Oh
no, so she's very animal. Save the animals. Which is
that's fine. That's good.
Which is fine. I mean, I care about that.
Well,
Anyway, that's all I got. We're out of here.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
In broadcast, I said.